What's up, guys? BigJead here. Fodder investing is one of the easiest or laziest ways to make hundreds of thousands or millions of coins every year on EAFC or FIFA. This year, boys, FC26, it is no different. So today, I'm going to show you how I fodder trade, how you can fodder trade, how you can make millions off it throughout the year. I'm going to show you what to buy for, boys, what to sell for, what rating of fodder to go to. I'm also, at the end of the video, going to show you 3 or 4 tips that'll let you do fodder trading to the maximum, right? Maximize your profits throughout the year. So stick around for those. Yeah, let's jump into fodder trading 101. So very, very quickly, just what is fodder trading? Why do you do it? Well, obviously, fodder trading fodder, buying and selling when it's at a low and selling when it's at a high, right? The main thing you need to know with fodder trading is that it's passive. It's great for people that don't want to trade too much. You just want a lot of coins in your club. You're not looking to actively trade like every day of the week, right? And you can expect returns on, normally you're looking at 20% profit after tax. Is a really good return on fodder. You can get the instances where you double or triple your coins, but please note these are extremely rare. If it was that easy every time to double your coins, people would only fodder trade, right? But you can make 20% profit after tax and a bit more quite consistently with fodder trading, as we've seen already this year with players like this. And normally, the first question I get asked is not even when to buy and when to sell, like it normally is with trading. It's actually just what rating should you go for, right? So boom, we're here on the FUTBin player ratings page. This is, if you go to FUTBin, you go to SBCs, you can go down to cheapest player by rating. I assume it is something similar on the mobile app, but I like the layout on the web app, right? The web version of FUTBin. Here we've got the cheapest players by rating, the perfect page for fodder that I'm sure you've seen before. This is a good place to start when you're looking at ratings, okay? Because when it comes to ratings, it's all going to depend on factors which we'll break down for you right now, with the main one being what SBCs are we targeting? And I'll jump into that more when we're looking at buy times, right? But for example, if it's a big icon pack, obviously we're targeting higher ratings. And if it's maybe a party bag, we normally get party bags. They're normally 83 and 84 rated squads, maybe 85s. So that's when we can look at these lower rated down here. They're great for like the party bag SBCs, which we should probably get in a few weeks now in EA. They'll bring them out really soon. But yeah, you're mainly targeting the SBC when you're looking at ratings. The second thing when it comes to what rating to choose is often just the price action of the cards. So all I mean there is what's low at the time you're looking. I'm going to jump into the best buy windows in a second. And often what you'll see is you look at certain buy windows, and a lot of the time, it's not like fodder across the boards at a good price, right? It's normally that maybe 86s are at a good price at one of the buy windows. So even though there's not a specific SBC you're targeting, we'll look at 86s in that instance. And I'll show you what I mean using a few of the graphs because I think it really does help. So starting off with this pop, right? 85 rated fodder. And straight away, when I was looking at fodder for some of the buy windows, although I wasn't planning on buying it because on stream, doing fodder trading is a little boring, I won't lie. You just sit and look at fodder cards. So a lot of times it's me just helping you boys out. We did look at the end of Saturday and the end of Sunday, which as you can see, these 2 dips here, I'll get into when to buy in the next section. You'll see what I mean. But I was looking at the ratings here, and 85s I just looked at, and it's quite obvious to see, right? They had nice demand from the Hero SBC. They've not been at these price points in a while. They were just clearly good price action. So you might not have targeted these for a specific SBC, although we did know the Hero Pack was re-releasing, and these showed demand with the Hero Pack. We didn't know if the requirements for the Hero Pack would change. So I'm not going to sit here and say it was a smart investment with an SBC coming, but simply looking at price action, you would look at this card. I'm just showing you one rating here, 85s, at the buy windows, and looking, well, this card's nice and low. You can see that, it's at the buy window. It's probably the lowest the card's going to get for a short period of time. You buy, another buy window, and she spikes again this week. Not for any particular magic reason. She was just a good buy at a good price action. And this obviously goes for not just her, but 85s in general, right? However, you of course need to know these buy windows to understand that. So let's jump into the next section, which is basically when to buy these cards. And the answer is essentially always with supply. Really obvious, but let me break it down a little bit further because I know some of you boys are new to trading, which is absolutely fine. It's basically always with supply. Fodder is one of the most supplied types of cards on the game. How many times, boys, do you pack these fucking fodder cards in your packs, right? It's ridiculous, isn't it, right? So think about it. People pack these cards loads at rewards. So there's a few buy windows that I look at. Number 1 is FUT Champs supply. So not on Friday, but on the end, really, of, well, it can be Friday night, but really Saturday night and Sunday night is what we've seen in previous years. And I believe Monday night this week did seem to work pretty well. If we jump to Monday night, there was a little bit, see there, like a little kind of window, because people, I think the FUT Champs, like a lot of people played on Monday, but the main 2 are always this Sunday night here and the Saturday night here. If you want to know why, think about it, right? A lot of people finish their Champs games then, and there's not a lot of people on the game for sort of demand, if that makes sense. There's not a lot of buying pressure. People are just opening up rewards, selling them, finishing their games for the day. And then obviously the UK and Europe goes to sleep. So then these cards start to go up as there's not much supply on them. And the same pattern happens the next day into Sunday. So you have 2 nice buying windows here, right? That does not mean you go and blindly buy fodder. You obviously use the rest of this video, but they're 2 of the buying windows. Another one, which if we look on this graph here, can be supply at rivals rewards. So if we look here on the Thursday, which is today, you can see at 8 o'clock, she was a little bit higher yesterday. Here, SBC comes out, then drops at rival rewards. But again, this is a great example because it shows that even though this is a good buying window, I'm not looking to buy fodder here, right? It's just no big dip. You didn't see what we've seen on Sunday night and Saturday night, but it is another buying window as we get rival rewards. And a last buying window that I like to look at, although I guess there's 2 more, but the last big one I like to look at is Friday promo. So again, if you look here on the Friday graph and we go to 6 p.m., which is down here, you can see she has a little bit of a dip. You see either side of these spikes where she was 4.3 one side, 4.3 in the other, but she only got down to 4.1 at 6 when people were opening their promo packs. So again, not a huge dip and not somewhere you'd look to buy, but they're the main buying windows. The last one is if you're someone who likes low-rated fodder, so you're going to look at 84s and 85s maybe, but also 83s when those SBCs that are repeatable come out later in the year and you need a lot of 83-rated squads. The best window for that is squad battle rewards because you kind of get the sell-off on Saturday night, but you also here get this... You get this pack supply from Squad Battle Rewards after the Saturday night and into the Sunday morning. And with lower rateds, what you'll find is you can win a lot of cards on bid because people don't seem to care as much about 84s and 85s. They're not as appealing and really goes with 83s as well. So if you look at the hour after Squad Battle Rewards, you can often pick up some nice deals there as well. But it is more for that lower end fodder. And I guess one more generic window, boys, is if we just get big store packs. I guess you can't really call this each week. I did say Friday at 6 p.m, but sometimes EA are a little bit strange and they'll just drop lightning rounds at like any time of the week. If you see huge 100k lightning rounds and fodder drops, of course that's a buy window, but you can't really put a time on that each week, right? But just look out for store packs. So you've got your buying window, but then you can come back to this page where you've got all the player ratings, okay? You now know when you're looking to buy. Maybe now it's Sunday night, it's Saturday night, it's Friday at 6. And you can just head over to a page like this on FUTBIM, like we said, with the ratings, and you can look at it, right? And look at the players. So maybe you take a look at an 86 rated fodder card. You go to the 14-day or the hourly graph. And I like to go to the 14-day because I can just get a nice big picture of like what's low for this card. So if it was Sunday at supply, or look at here, right? Saturday night at supply or Saturday morning, Friday night, you can see this card got to a really nice low. So you probably know, oh, that's a nice low. It's a buying time. Is this a good time to buy? You can do the same again on Saturday night into Sunday morning. Again, it gets to that same low. And you can see the patterns, right? On here, again, I want to jump down to Thursday morning. Again, look at this, right? Thursday morning at Rivals, there is a dip there. You can see that. You can see with Rivals reward supply, she then spikes a little bit. But I wouldn't have bought here because I don't like the dip as much. Unless I can pick these cards up on bid for a lot lower than what it's saying here. It's just not enough of a drop. You're really starting to get a picture already, aren't you? That you can see the supply windows, and then you can also cross-check the ratings. So that we just looked at 86 there. Maybe you'll look at a higher rated. You're going to look to 89s, okay? And what was one of the tips I give earlier is to look and anticipate what SBCs are coming when it comes to ratings. I'm going to jump into that into the next section here in terms of leaks and things. But you just sort of use a bit of knowledge from all sides. If there's a big icon pack leak, normally if it's an icon pack, it's over-invested, and we'll get onto that. But you can use that as well and use big players. So you see here, this Russo on Saturday night again, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, she dips, she then rises. So this is probably your buy window here. But you're looking at this buy window sort of Sunday morning, Saturday night, and you're going, look, you know this is not a buy. There's no big dip there. She's already dipped one of the days before. She's a very similar price to what she has been, so you'd leave it. But then if you look going into 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock again, it gets low again, but you're going to wait because it's not really a buy window. And when it does get to the buy window, again, you're not fancying it. But then Monday morning this time, it's the first time in one of the buy windows in that after Sunday FUT Champs supply where she's nice and low. And if you could pick her right in that dip there when you were looking at buys, you know she's probably a decent little buy at the time, or 89 rated in general. You might have picked up a few there, and she rises nicely throughout the week, right? The next bit is the most important bit of the video so far. This is to do with leaks, okay? If we just jump over, jumping over to Twitter, I just want to show you this Pulisic leak we got from FUT Sheriff that is coming out. I think it's coming out today as I record this. This is the biggest takeaway you need from this video if you're going to invest in fodder throughout the year, right? Is that you can't get caught up in the hype from the leaks, right? So much of the profit I've made before on fodder is selling to other people buying in the hype on leaks, which then the fodder reaches a peak, and then those people have to sell off and lose coins. Fodder in general, boys, on FC or FIFA is really counterintuitive in some senses because you're going to often buy it when there's no talk about it and it seems like it's not a good buy. So what I mean by that is if this leak comes out and it's an icon pack, right? and everyone's really excited for the first icon pack, and you see, for example, 89 or 90 rated skyrocket, your instant thought is probably to go buy those cards, and I do get it. But in that instance, if you buy that, you're buying into people who have already bought earlier on from like Discords that have leaks in or whatever it is, and you're buying their cards off them. You just need to be really careful on that. With this Pulisic SBC, when he got announced, there was no spike in fodder, but you know average what this SBC is going to be, right? It's probably going to need sort of 85, 86 sort of rated squads, maybe an inform in there. You've got that general sort of sense of what rating these squads are going to be. So yes, you're not going to buy into the hype just because a Pulisic SBC is coming out, but you know when you're targeting different ratings, maybe with this Pulisic, you're not going to go and target 89s, you're not going to go and target 84s, you're going to go for that middle range fodder because that's the sort of squads that this Pulisic will need, right? So it's not looking at the hype of SBCs, like when an icon pack drops and everyone gets, obsessed over it and invests early, and you miss the trade and try and jump on it. It's more these little SBCs like Pulisic, Player of the Month, big player SBCs that are leaked. I think we got Goretzka a while back, which ended up being like a really hyped SBC, and then he came out and he's a little bit overpriced. But it's SBCs like that, fan favorites, right? So you've learned the hardest part. You've learned when to buy fodder, and if you've got any questions at all on buying fodder, leave them in the comments. I'll get to every single one, okay? But now it's time to sell fodder, and this is where you make the coins, right? It really is a huge difference on selling fodder. This is how you get better than everyone else at doing this, okay? We're going to look at this Russo card, or even a great example is this Beth Mead card, as we've seen a lot of good price action with her recently. And you've got three main sell windows when it comes to fodder, okay? I'm going to call them selling the hype, number one. Number two is selling at the SBC, essentially. And number three is selling late, right? Selling in the coming days. Let me show you what this looks like on the graph, right? So Beth Mead here, early on, people were starting to invest in fodder as early as here because it was boring, right? Really early on in the game, we're not getting many SBCs. Look at this, very stagnant. Fodder's too cheap. People know that. It's boring. No one was talking about it. So you invest. And what you can do first is selling the hype, right? We got an initial bit of hype here when it comes to original SBCs. People started talking about leaks of different things. And there, it's a really safe investment. You make him, that's what, 1.2K on a card, maybe a little bit more. It's really, really safe. You just sell when other people start to invest. You've done what I've said. You've bought early when it's boring. People are starting to invest. And you can sell for nice and safe profit. That's number one, okay? Number two, and people's main go-to in selling, which is definitely not always the right one, is just sell when the SBC comes out, right? 87 spiked so much at 6 p.m. Wednesday last week when we got the Hero SBC because you needed an 87 rated in the higher rated squad. So many people didn't realize that because we didn't know the requirements, and then these really spiked. Look what happens, right? SBC comes out, she goes from about 8,000 coins to 10,000 coins in a few hours, basically. You can sell then. If you bought all the way back here, that's a really good profit. You could even have bought here and you made really good profit. You wouldn't have known that, right? That's not one you can predict. It's just dependent on the SBC requirements. But selling when the SBC comes out, actually, normally my least favorite time to sell. And this is another really good example of why, okay? Option number three is selling late, okay? When the Hero SBC dropped here on Wednesday and we got this massive spike, it was because 87s were needed in that Hero SBC for that higher rated squad. So they have like a well-deserved spike, right? But what happens is that Hero SBC is mass completed, and it's going to be mass completed in the following days because people really want to do that SBC, especially after they get rival rewards on a Thursday, they get the coins, and they go and complete the SBC. So if you sold here when the SBC came out, it's only ever going to spike when the SBC comes out. If it's a good value SBC, if the SBC is overpriced or it's just not very completed, then fodder doesn't really spike too well. Because normally the hype of the fodder, this safe sale earlier on, 8K, is what they go to. And if this Hero SBC was massively overpriced, it's very, very possible we just see this even decline a bit and the graph goes down here because the Hero SBC wouldn't be completed very much. Obviously, it's a good price, but then here, a lot of people sold early and they offload their fodder cards here, which is fine. But these 87 cards are really needed in this Hero SBC. People are going to get rival rewards tomorrow. So what you can do is sell late. The reason this works so well is with a good SBC like this is because the supply dries up for the cards as people sell off, but people then keep buying the cards through the SBC. So if you then sell in the coming days, you get this second spike here. And that's why I think selling fodder so late is really, really good. And that's your third selling option. Just before we jump into the three huge tips that you should know when doing fodder, I want to show you why fodder is so good, okay? If we jump back over to the cheapest player by rating, we go to 85s and we look at any of the 85 rated fodders. We can take a look at De Gea here, okay? This was similar to Pop's graph before, but De Gea had a great low point here at 3.6K on a Sunday morning, Saturday night, which is one of our buying windows with the FUT Champs sell-off. So I'm just going to use this as an example. And let's say you buy De Gea's en masse at 3.6K, right? And then if you look later in the week, nice and steady rise, selling more in the hype than anything else. A little bit by the hero SBC was affected, but a lot of this is more in the hype of people buying fodder, really. He gets the 4.7 or 4.6k, which is a 1,000 coin rise, right? So a lot of people don't invest in these cards because they think that's not a good enough rise, okay? What you need to understand is look at this on a bigger picture. Imagine you had 100,000 coins and you invest it all into De Gea's at around 3.5 thousand coins. That's around 30 or so De Gea's, okay? So if you do sell over here for 1,000 coins profit a card, it's 30,000 coins profit on an about 100,000 coin investment, right? When you look at some of the big players that people love to trade about, the sexy trades, you know what I mean? The sexy profit that people really want, it's really strange. Look at this Nico Williams here this week, right? He was a great card to flip this week, right? He's 170k. So at the time when you're looking to buy him, he was 150. So he's 1.5 times more than our De Gea investment in this hypothetical, right? But let's say you bought him at the perfect time. You nailed this dip here on Nico Williams and you picked him up like 145k, right? Even below what he is there. You nailed the dip on him. And let's say you sold perfectly in this hype here, perfectly in the hype, not the hype, sorry, the spike, right? You make 30,000 coins on that from 145 to 175. You make 30,000 coins profit after tax, of course, which the tax on this is even heavier. Because you make 30,000 coins on this huge investment. Well, on our investment on the De Gea's, we made 30,000 coins and we invested less in the first place, right? Your coin total does not care about who you buy. It just cares about how many coins you make. So fodder for this is a really great investment, even when this is only a 1,000 coin rise. You need to look at the bigger picture of it. Boys, it is now time for those 3 huge tips that will maximize the profit for you when you're doing this, okay? Number 1 is lazy selling. I feel like I give this a tip in every single video because of how good it is. Simply lazy sell your cards before you're even planning on selling them, right? Fodder is the perfect card to lazy sell. I'm going to do a lazy selling guide or an overpriced selling guide at some point soon, but it's simple, really. If you bought Rodriguez, right, and he's currently at 32k, just list at 20, 30% over, okay? List your cards all the way up to sort of, anywhere in the range of sort of 36 to 40,000 coins. Because if any of them do sell and you're waiting for a bigger rise, you can always just rebuy that Rodri again if you think he's going to rise up. So it makes no sense not to lazy sell. You list here at these sort of prices, and you'd be surprised at how many people are completing SBCs from the club menu. Just buy these cards because they can't be asked to go and find what they actually sell for. You will make so many coins this year lazy selling fodder. Not just fodder investments, lazy selling fodder. But tip number 2, boys, we have got special cards. Don't overlook team of the week and then later in the year, team of the seasons when it comes to fodder investment. Look at this, right? 84 rated, team of the week Schrader. Every time, every week, the same pattern on these cards, right? 83 rated and especially 84 rated team of the weeks always get their first big supply here on the Friday night, Saturday morning, right? They come out on the Wednesday, they get a little bit of supply on Thursday from marquee matchups and rivals rewards, but they mainly get their first tradable supply from FUT Champs rewards, and straight away you see it happen here, right? Saturday, midnight, or Friday night, 10,000 coins. Basically, it is discard, right, for this card. You can pick this card up with no, risk. She's discard, and then she rises steadily throughout the week, and you're making nearly 3,000 coins on every single card here. It is ridiculous, right? It is so good. Don't overlook these cards. It's the same pattern each week here where you get the massive drop with Weekend League. So keep an eye out for these 84 and 83 rated fodder team of the weeks. But Schrader is also for tip number 3 because tip number 3 is club stocking, boys. A lot of you know club stocking. Club stocking is basically where you put one of each card into your club when you like the price of them, especially with fodder. So what it would mean here with Schrader is rather than buying 10 as like an investment, when she hits discard here, just buy one at discard, throw it into the club, forget about it. Do this every week with every team of the week that is eligible. Do it when fodder hits low in terms of gold cards. If 86 is hit like a low and they're really low at their lowest point throughout the week, let's say, and you don't want to invest in fodder, just buy one of each 86, throw it into the club, forget about it. When a different rating happens and it's like another low, do it with a different rating. And what you'll get is when that fodder is eventually needed, you're making passive coins from your club, especially with team of the weeks, by the way. Team of the weeks often hit like 20, or I think we've seen it a few years ago when they hit like 30 or 40,000 coins because certain SBCs need them. And if you've club stocked 5 or 6 team of the weeks, you can often make 50 to 100 to 200k like overnight when an SBC comes out. It's ridiculous. So do not underestimate club stocking. Fodder trading can be complicated. I do get that, right? So any questions at all, drop them down in the comments below and I'll get to all of them. Boys, if this video helped out whatsoever, leave a like on the video. Maybe some point in the future, in about 10 years, I can go full time. Who knows? And yeah, if you're looking to make some coins to start fodder trading, I'd check out this video that's popping up on screen now. It basically shows you how to out of pack trade. It's a great low budget method that builds up your coins like 100, 200,000 coins. So you can start fodder trading basically. But yeah, boys, like always, until next time, I'll see you in a bizzle.